Kiki, here to do another video for you guys, doing it live, and I'm going to repost it, so stay tuned. Welcome to my channel where we discuss all kinds of things. I discuss reality TV. I have an online dating series. I have a series about dieting and health and Ozempic. I'm kind of like a channel that, I'm kind of like, WeTV, the WeTV of YouTube. Like I talk about a little bit of reality TV. I talk about a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but I do have playlists. Check out my playlist. And one of my playlists is online dating and dating, just dating in general, but mostly focused on online dating. I am an online dater. I am single. I've been single for about a year now, and I've been on online dating before. If you have not watched my online dating playlist, please do, and it will give me my background story and all and stuff like that, so you'll know what's going on. However, there are always dating trends. Every once in a while, not every once in a while, but really frequently, there's new trends that pop up. There's new terms and new trends and things that I've never even heard of. Um, I always throw the side eye to some of this because I'm very skeptical about things that get put out there in the lexicon of the interwebs. And people think of these really cool, edgy terms for these dating trends. And so now I ran across one today, just now, that I was like, what is this? So there's an article in MSN.com, and I'm sure there's other articles about this as well. We're going to talk about something called contra-dating. I have never heard of this before. I read a little bit through the article, but I'm going to read the entire thing to you. I'm going to make sure you posted a link. Hello, Dustin. How are you? You posted a link in the other video. Okay, thank you very much, Dustin. I will check it out. If you would like to advertise your YouTube channel, or you would like to put links to your channel, please put it in the comment section on whatever video that you find appropriate. I'm not picky. Just whatever video you find, you can go ahead. Or just put a regular comment. What do you think? But I came across something called contra-dating. Now, when I think of Contra, I think of like the Iran Contras. Like I think of like the stuff that happened like in the 80s and the early 90s. So I really was set back by this term. This is a term that apparently that's on Plenty of Fish, something I've never heard of. I'm going to try to do more videos about dating trends and terms and things, because there are some things out here that I have never heard of before. The concepts I've heard, it sounds simple, but just the terms that people try to make it edgy, hip, and cute, and really they're not really doing anything different. They're not reinventing the wheel. I tell people there's nothing new under the sun when it comes to anything. When it comes to life, politics, religion, dating, there's nothing really new. It's just people put it on social media and then come up with their own terms for it. But a lot of times when people talk about new trends in dating, it's things that people been doing that somebody just didn't coin the phrase for it that's new. So we're going to talk about contra-dating. And like I said, I'm going to post links to this article. And then we're going to go through this article and we're going to read it, okay? So we all know that people, we're living in a post-pandemic world, and people are now, because people have been upset and disaffected with dating apps. I'm one of them. You can look at my shorts where I go in about dating apps all the time, and I bring up issues with dating apps. I'm doing other series about what's wrong with dating apps. And so y'all know I go in about the algorithms, the pay, and everything like this. So now people are trying to find more ways to connect with people non-digitally, because online dating apps have had so many people who are disgruntled, like myself, out there. So people are trying to find ways to meet people in IRL, that stands for in real life, or in face-to-face. Then, so people are looking for connections in restaurants, gyms, meetup groups, book clubs, hiking groups, and other common interest activities, which makes sense, because you seek out people that you have similar likes and dislikes and lifestyles with. That has to do with contra-dating. This term was popularized on Plenty of Fish, which y'all know Plenty of Fish is a hot mess. So when I read that, I said, oh boy, we in for it. I said, oh boy. Because, Plenty of Fish is like, to me, like almost like the cesspool of online dating. It's been around for a long time, and it has a reputation. I don't know about your city, but where I'm from, Plenty of Fish has a reputation of attracting like cluckers, crackheads, weirdos. Like that's the reputation that Plenty of Fish has in the Dallas Fort Worth area that I know of with my friends. Like Plenty of Fish is kind of like the bargain basement. Lots of scammers on Plenty of Fish that I found out. Lots of fake profiles. This term contra-dating deliberately means dating someone outside your usual type or who you wouldn't necessarily view as compatible, as opposed to seeking a partner in line with your usual standards. Now, I have a problem with that first paragraph, but okay, let's keep going. It says singles are looking to step outside their comfort zone and shake up their dating experience, says Rachel DiAlto, Chief Connection Officer for Match Group, the parent company of Plenty of Fish. Okay, so she works for Plenty of Fish. According to DiAlto, example of contra-dating is an entrepreneur who typically dates someone with similar risk-taking tendencies but choose to go out with an accountant, someone more methodical and cautious instead. Obviously, no offense to Rachel DiAlto, the Chief Connection Officer, or whatever the hell that means, for Match and Plenty of Fish. Obviously, this lady is married and hadn't dated because what she said made no damn sense. I don't know people who are entrepreneurs who are looking to date other entrepreneurs. That's just silly. Okay, that's just dumb. Most people who own a business are not like, oh, I specifically want to date somebody who's running a business. Yeah, I'm not saying it don't happen, but that's really not the criteria that people put high on their list is I have a business, I want you to have a business too. Or I'm just not interested. That's really using not it. DiAlto goes on and says, dating stays exciting and new, and singles are open to unexpected connections that would never happen otherwise. Now that's true. The concept applies both online matchups and the real life kind, and is a departure from the philosophy that the perfect partner is someone we immediately identify having a set of traits, characteristics, and common interests that mirror our own. We have a biological. Okay, this is where it gets weird. Okay, we do have a biological type in terms of what we're biologically attracted to. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. We do have a mental type, that fantasy kind of person we're into, says Edwards. Then there's a soulful type, and the soul type may not align with your mental or biological type. What the F does that mean? Okay, let me read this again. Okay, apparently this is going to be one of these kind of videos. We do have a biological type in terms of what we are biologically attracted to. We do have a mental type, the fantasy type of person that we're into, says Edwards. Who the hell is Edwards? I don't know. I don't know who Edwards is. Then there's the soulful type, and the soulful type may not align with your mental or biological type. Is it just me, or does none of that made any fucking sense? What is a biological type of what you're attracted to? What does that mean? I got to do research about these. Why are people overly biological type? Is that somebody that you're physically attracted to? Then we have a mental type. Okay, a fantasy type person. My mental type person, a fantasy type person. Okay, somebody that's ideally your perfect man or woman. And then there's a soulful type. I don't know what that means. Soulful type is someone not aligned with your mental or biological type. But if somebody's not aligned, if I don't like somebody, they're mentally, which means to me, in my mind, means their personality or who they are. And then I physically don't like them. So is it either or? I don't know. Let's continue. It doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe y'all can decipher this. Essentially, what it boils down to is that if you're quick to rule out a potential partner based on the biology or the fantasy, you might be passing up what otherwise could be your ideal person. This is how people get confused and end up spending their time and spinning their wheels dating because they read dumb stuff like this. This is dumb. This makes no sense. Let me read this again. Essentially, what it boils down to is that if you're quick to rule out a potential partner based on that biology and biology. Wait a minute. I don't get it. Essentially what it boils down is to that if you're quick to rule out a potential partner based on that biology or fantasy, you might be passing up. What what are they trying to say? Biology. So someone you're physically attracted to in a fantasy. Okay, a fantasy is your ideal perfect person. I would think that as you become older and more mature and you have dating experience, that you would understand that there's no perfect person. Yes, I have this idealistic man who looks like this or looks like that or looks like this, and then they would act like this and do this and do this. Yes, everybody has an idealized type. Do I think I'm going to get that person? No, because it's an idealistic type. But biology, I don't know what they're talking about biology. Are we talking about physical attraction? Because that's not really biology. Physical attraction is just your preference. It can be a preference. And not necessarily, they're making it out to, when they say biology, they're making it out like it's some sort of scientific thing. And it's not. Some of us are attracted to multiple types of people, physically speaking, in physical appearance. Some of us are attracted to people mostly mentally. And then we weigh each one of those. Some people, they really have to be attracted to the person. Some people, they really have to be attracted to the mental and lifestyle of a person. Some people, it's 50-50. Some people, it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So the idea that everybody is picking people for the same reasons is dumb. It's a fallacy. We are not. We are not. I don't have the same weight of attraction and mental, and then I have my own taste within that than what you have. You got people out there that will date people that they are not physically attracted to, but they may be more mentally attracted to them. Then there's some people like me who I like. If I'm not physically attracted to you, it's no, I don't care how good we connect. You would have to be perfect in every other way but the physical. You know what I'm saying? So we each weigh things on a different scale and different level because we all have a different taste. Continuing on. Instead, don't be afraid to give someone a chance just because you don't have all the conventional things in common. Okay, but you're talking about, okay, we went from talking about biology and fantasy to talking about things in common. To me, all of these things are different. More than that, seek out those connect. Okay, so instead, let me read it again. Instead, don't be afraid to give someone a chance just because you don't have all the conventional things in common. More than that, seek out those actions. That the way this is written, I feel like it's written by a 10-year-old. Okay, this is worded real. Maybe extend the shelf life of that connection, Edwards explains. I don't know who Edwards is. And explains that in doing so, it's possible you'll realize that someone you normally overlook is in fact pretty great. Okay, once they pass a particular threshold, they realize this person's amazing because they bypass all the things that would tell them no and just allowed themselves to be present for what was there, which is a soulful connection. I don't know what that means, a soulful connection. What is a soulful connection to you? I don't speak in terms like this. I don't believe in soulful connections or vibe or thing like that because in my mind, I'm a more logical based person. In my mind, it basically boils down to biology. It basically boils down to biology and shared experience. Now, online dating is a little bit different than meeting somebody in person because sometimes you do have rapport, if that's what you want to call it, a soul connection, rapport, a connection, a vibe. Again, these terms are just overly fanciful and like it makes it sound like wee magic, like I got a Harry Potter wand for dating. Like this is it's too fantastical for me. I'm just going to say the terms that people use in this article. Going back to the article, of course, that doesn't mean sticking it out with someone that you immediately know isn't right for you, but reconsidering what right for you looks like. Again, I'm going to go on the record and saying, if you have not made a list of traits that you look for in a person, physically and mentally and emotionally and interest wise, if you have not figured that out, this type of shit will happen to you. There are people out there, I've said it before and said it again, dating, and they don't know what they want. There's a people out there who flitter from person to person to person and just take whoever wants them. That's the problem that we're having in dating. It's not about finding meaningful. I mean, yes, there's a problem about finding meaningful connections and finding people that's right for you. The issue is that people flitter back and forth and be like, let me try this person. Like it's a buffet. They nibble a little bit over here, nibble a little bit over here, nibble a little bit over here, and then realize, I don't want that. I don't want that. Before you start nibbling, you should know kind of an idea of what type of person you're looking for. So that's the problem I have with modern dating, is that there are too many people running around who don't know what they're looking for, who've never really sat themselves down and said, this is what I want. This is what I want in my partner. This is the type of interest I'm looking for. This is my personality. You have to know yourself and what you want first before you find somebody else, because you'll end up with the wrong person, and then you end up wasting their time, wasting your time, and then you're gonna be end up back on the dating app all over and over again. I know this from personal experience. Don't let this happen to you. So back to the article. So Maria Avgidis, who is the CEO of Agape Match, which is a Christian Christian dating app, and she's a host of a podcast, says, I'm the most extroverted person you'll ever meet. My husband is a materials engineer with a PhD who belongs to a backgammon group and collects comics. We are wildly different. According to Avgidis, you could be missing out on a potential great relationship if you have tunnel vision when it comes to partners. I see no drawbacks in throwing away the type that's kept you dating the same person, but with a different name, she tells Today.com. Rather than excluding people based on a set criteria, Avgidis recommends expanding your horizons or contra-dating. Maybe if you're a straight woman, you've always dated up to 5 years older than you. I challenge you to change the range to -5 plus 12 when online dating. You never know. Maybe Mr. Perfect is 9 years older than you, and you've just been filtering him out. That's what she says. However, maybe you're filtering people out because maybe in this example, she's talking about filtering people out based on age. 5 years older or younger than you, depending on what age you are. This is the bullshit that I don't like, okay? If you're, 5 years is really not that much. 5 years under and over, depending on your age, it could be 5 years younger or older than me. It really doesn't make any difference. Now, if you're talking about 12 plus years, if you're 30 years old and you're dating someone 12 years younger than you, you do the math. That's not going to work. If I'm 35 years old, there's a huge difference between a 35-year-old and a 25-year-old. That's a difference. There's a difference between me at 25 and me at 35. Y'all think back. Now, 55 and 45? No. 35 and 25? Yeah. I know people in their 30s who don't want to date a 25-year-old because a 25-year-old is at a different level than someone even 30. There's a maturity level. So, in her example, doesn't really pan out, but I understand what she's saying. But I'm just saying it depends. And also, it means attraction. 5 years younger or older for me doesn't matter. If I'm 26 years old, 10 years older than me. So if I'm 26, I'm going to date a 36-year-old. When it comes to looks wise, there could be no difference, or there could be a huge difference between 36-year-old men and 26-year-old men. There's a difference there. So you got attraction mentally and physically when it comes to age. So that's why some people don't pick certain ages, because it just depends on what age you are. Because, someone 9 years older than you could be a huge maturity difference, or it could be just a small one. Or it could be a lot of physical difference, or just a small one. Or a lifestyle difference, or just a small one. So let's continue. If it sounds like the whole opposite attracts thing, it isn't. While dating outside your comfort zone can lead to new opportunities, it's still important to seek someone whose core values mirror your own. According to Avgidis, she and her husband may differ in hobbies and personalities, but they're similar in all the ways that matter. We have complementary critical thinking skills, assess risk in the same way. We parent very similar and share a nearly identical moral compass. We value work ethic and very family oriented, she explains. And in the things that matter, we are really, really similar. Edward agrees that baseline values like ethic, religion, or whether someone wants kids or not are non-negotiable, but says that if you go into dating with a certain person in mind, you may be at risk overlooking the right person. That said, contra-dating might not be for everyone. Here we go. It takes effort to move outside your comfort zone and require more compromise. Being too different can become problematic long-term if the differences are around priorities. Going out with someone totally different from you, You can also wind up being a dating disaster if you simply aren't the right fit. Even so, it can lead to long term personal growth. In being curious and expanding your horizons, you're going to learn more about yourself than the other person that you're interacting with, said Edwards. I still don't know who Edwards is. Beyond that, self awareness, and experience you gain in the process just might lead you full circle. It does create an opportunity to take a step back and say, hey, if I were to develop more awareness about myself, where I am in my life and what I want, what I'm doing, and that is actually helping me get where I want to be, said Edwards. A byproduct of that could actually be finding love with that person that is the perfect fit for you. Bottom line, on your way to meet Tom Hanks at the top of the Empire State Building, it doesn't hurt to check out who else is standing beside you in the elevator. There's a lid for every pot. I really believe that. I don't. I think some people have been looking in the wrong kitchen since Everguidance. That's what they're saying. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, I just read that entire article. So contra-dating, in essence, let me just wrap it up. It's just dating somebody. I mean, to me, it just seems like it good for people who are really picky. I don't date someone based on what kind of job they have. That I'm an accountant. I don't require somebody to be an accountant. I don't know people who are out here dating people and saying, I mean, yes, there are picky people out here. And also depends on your age as well. With age comes, in anything comes wisdom. So if you're just starting out dating, this may work for you. This may be a trend that's worked for you. But if you're established and you've been married before and you've been, divorced and you've had relationships and children, I would think by now, as an adult, that you would be able to figure out what is right for you, either through trial and error with your personal relationships or just because you put it into a lot of thought. But I tell people that even if you have not had a lot of marriage or dating experience, that the best thing for any person is to figure out what they want in a person. Here they're talking about people wanting nitpicking things like age and height and stuff like that. That's what it seems like they're talking about here. They're talking about people nitpicking profession and stuff like in location and stuff like that. I don't see a lot of people doing that. I just see a lot of people really trying to find someone, period, to date. But I disagree with on here using dating and people as a way to refine yourself as a person. I disagree with that. I wholly disagree with that. Using dating as a way to figure out what you want or for you to get more experience as a human being, I don't agree with that. I would suggest you go out and live life. Now, part of living life is dating. Part of living life is having relationship experience and going on dates. That is part of that. But if you're on that type of journey, then you need to be honest with the other people that you're online meeting or whoever that you're dating, if that's what you're doing. But I don't want to be with nobody who's like, I don't really know what I'm doing and I haven't really dated a long time and I'm trying to get back. I don't have interest in a person like that. That's a waste of my time. There are people out here looking for serious relationships, possibly end up in marriage. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's me, but that may be you. That may be other people. And the idea that this article with the, hey, if I were to develop more awareness around myself and where I am in life and what I want, what I'm doing, that's helping me getting where I want to be. Why would you use dating apps to figure out where you want to be in life? I don't think you should date unless you have figured out and lived enough life to where you want to be. If you want to just date people and hang out with people and you're not having a serious relationship, if you're young, then I'm all for that. Then go out and flitter, go out and have fun, go out and live your life. But just as long as you're being honest with the other person, that's what you're wanting to do. But to use dating as a way to refine your personality or, you trying to figure out what you want, again, even if with no dating experience, you should be able to sit down, at least come out with some baseline traits or likes or dislikes of what you did. And people are confusing interest with lifestyle and values. We don't have to both like science fiction. If you are living if you're living in your mind where I have to find a person that likes this and likes this and likes that, likes and dislikes does not make a match. And I think in this day and age in our modern society of dating, people have gotten that confused. people people have picked people because they like the same TV shows, or they like the same movies, or they both like the same type of wine, or they like to travel. Traveling and liking the office and liking the hunt and liking the fish is not an indication whether this person is good for you or not. I don't know if anybody have told you guys this. Maybe you haven't been told that. Maybe your family and friends, that because again, there's a lot of notions about dating and myths about dating that I'm going to do a video about that need to be dispelled. And one of the myths is interest. We both got to be interested in the same thing. If you get with somebody that is maybe not interested in things that you're interested in, and you have an open mind, that person has an open mind, then they can come along with you for the adventure. There, like I said, I was married for 8 years, and me and my husband, we shared a lot of interests together. But there's things that I wasn't interested in, but I was willing to go along for the adventure. You know, my husband wasn't into comic books and sci-fi and Marvel movies and going to sci-fi conventions. I was. He had never been to a convention ever, and I'd been going to them for years. And so he would come along and be like, I'm open to it. Now, if you get a person who's like, I don't want to do that, I don't want to go, then that person's not willing to have an open mind. If they're willing to share or partake within your interest, that's the person you're looking for. They don't necessarily have to be interested in lizards and going to a lizard convention with you. My ex is into reptiles and lizards and animals. And I like animals, don't get me wrong, but I'm not into reptiles and lizards. And I'm going to go to Lizard Con with him because that's what he was into. That's what he liked to connect. He liked to collect snakes and lizards and geckos and stuff like that. It doesn't mean I had to be into that. You know, it doesn't mean that I like that, but I appreciate it. He appreciated the fact that I'm willing to go along. So it's not interest. People have been telling people it's interest. It's not. It's not. The criteria for dating should be values and stuff like that. And I don't agree. I kind of do and kind of don't agree with this dating trend, but it's nothing new. But the thing about it is that that's sad that people got to write articles like this because people honestly are out here. They got things messed up when it comes to dating, you know, and yes, there are people out here picky, and there's a narrative that a lot of people are picky, but I don't think people are really that picky as the narrative is trying to put it out there, or people, or this paradox of choice that people are trying. They throw around that term. Well, there's just so many people to pick online, and so people don't know what to pick. No, it's just that people don't. I don't see people pulling the trigger on anybody. That's what I'm telling y'all. People have paradox of choice. Just because just because people send you messages don't mean you're talking to all of them. Just because you have a likes on your social media or likes on your dating doesn't mean that you're talking to every person. So the paradox of choice to me is a myth. Because just because someone sent a message, it doesn't mean you're implying that every person that sends a message, every person that likes you or shows interest, these are people you're going to end up dating. That's the odds are very low. Just because someone sends you a message, there's like a 80. I was reading online. There was an 80% chance that person is not going. That you're never going to meet that person in person. That you're not even going to talk to that person. So I tell people out there, I think there's a 60 to 80% chance that whoever leaves you a message on a dating app that you're not going to meet them. So right off the bat, there's a 60 to 80% chance nothing's going to happen with this person. So when people talk about paradox of choice, I'm like, choice in what? Are we talking about people to talk to? Because talking to somebody is not a choice to me. Messaging and DM and texting somebody back and forth for months is not a paradox of choice. That's not a choice. That's nothing. That's just somebody who wants to talk. The problem is there's too many people on these dating apps that just want to talk. They just want to text and message back and forth. So the paradox of choice to me is a myth because we're talking about meeting people. What is the percent when you look online and you Google and you're trying to research dating online statistics? There's a lot of fake and false statistics or statistics that you're like, what does that exactly mean? So when people talk about there's so many people on dating apps and the paradox of choice, but how many of these people are they actually meeting? That's where you have to dig to find the statistics that dating apps don't want you to see. They don't want you to see that 60 to 70 to 80% of people on dating apps you are never going to meet. So if you didn't know that, now you know. Go look it up. What is the percentage of people that are meeting on dating apps? Meeting in person, not talking. Because a lot of these statistics considering matching and messaging as meeting. because they've skewed the numbers to make the dating app numbers look better. So that's how another way that dating apps try to trick you into believing there's a bunch of people on these dating apps and a bunch of people meeting and a bunch of people talking. Okay, what are we really talking about? I need you to break down what is the percentage of people actually meeting in person off of dating apps. Look up those statistics. What is the average number of messages that men are getting, women are getting, and then out of those messages, what is the average of all the messages that they get? What is the percentage of people that are actually meeting up with people online? And you will see the numbers and be shocked, because those are the numbers that these mofos are trying to hide from us. They don't want you to see the real numbers, that people are not meeting people in person, that people are online doing a lot of talking, that people online are messaging people for months and weeks at a time, that people are meeting people one time and then never seeing them again. Look up those numbers. What is the statistic of an average first date from online dating turning into a second date? Look up those numbers. Because when you go on a first date with someone, I've looked it up. The average time that's going to turn into a second date is like 20%. So don't tell me about a paradox of choice when 20% of the time you're not even going to get a second date. What paradox of choice? When 30% of the people who send you messages, there's a 30% chance you're even going to meet that person. So out of all these messages and all these people that you talk to in a month, on the average in a month, most of the people you talk to, you are not going to meet in person. You're not going to meet these people in person. And dating apps are trying to hide these numbers from you. They're trying to not let people know what the truth is. And the truth is, a lot of people are talking to a lot of people that are not meeting them in person. And so I ask people again, what are people afraid of? There are scammers. There are people who are cheating. There are a lot of cheaters on dating apps, about 40%. There are a lot of scammers on dating apps, about 22 to upwards to 40% of people on dating apps are not who they say they are. So there are a lot of cheaters, a lot of scammers, a lot of pretenders on dating apps. There are a lot of catfishers on dating apps. So do I advocate dating in person? I probably would. I haven't tried it yet, y'all. I'll let you know. I'm trying to get on that. But it's hard. A lot of the meetup groups, I do my research for it. Before I spend my time and effort and money to date to do anything, I'm going to research. A lot of these meetup groups online, there's meetup groups, a lot of these book clubs and stuff. It's not like I sit around at home just twiddling my thumbs all day, y'all. I've been part of book clubs and all kinds of social circles, and it's full of women. Men, I'm gonna do a video about this. For all the talk that men talk about being lonely and not finding anybody, baby, unless it's a sports group, men are not involved in these groups. Unless it's hunting or fishing or sports. Again, this is my experience in my area. I don't see a lot of men out here joining kayak groups or hiking groups or salsa. They have salsa dancing. I know there's a huge salsa group in Dallas, and they have a hard time finding men. And the men that are in the salsa group are just women bringing their husbands or boyfriends or their own, or it's a first date type of thing. But there's not a lot of single men who are out here in person doing things to date. Like, I just don't see that. When they talk about speed dating, it's a bunch of women. People have commented on my video saying, yes, Kiki, you are correct. It's a bunch of women. So when people talk about meeting in real life, unless it's a bar or a club or a sports group or a hunting group or something like that, that I don't see a lot of men out here joining groups or circles or book. They're talking in this article talking about book clubs. What men have you seen part of book clubs that ain't there with their wives? Not where I live. I ain't seen no man part of no book clubs. Y'all let me know. Speed dating. What men y'all see out here doing speed dating? I just don't see it. There's video game clubs, there's anime clubs that have men in it, but you have to be into that type of thing. I'm into that type of thing, but there are a bunch of women who aren't. So what clubs and groups out there are available where men and women can get together? So having common interests is important, is one element. But again, I just don't see, like I understand a restaurant. I go to the gym. I've been to plenty of gyms and had plenty of membership. I've never met anyone at a gym. I don't know anyone who's met anyone at a gym. I know people who are gym rat. I'm a gym rat 5 days a week. I've never met anybody at a gym. Hiking groups. I mean, I understand the articles is using examples, but I just think about all these groups out here, and especially during the summer and the weather gets nice in Texas, in the springtime. I just don't see a lot of people out here doing, in history clubs and book clubs, and I don't see a lot of that. So I just want to know, where the men at, y'all? Where they at? Like I just don't see a lot of that in my neighborhood. So what I in all in all, what I think about contra dating, I think it can help people who don't really know what they want or who are really picky about interests. But I don't think anybody should be basing their relationship or who they're picking. A heavy weight should go towards interest. I don't think a heavy weight should go towards interest. A heavy weight should be between values and lifestyle, um, parenting if you're planning to have children, stuff like that. Interest is probably like fifth on my list of things that I look for in someone that dating. Yes, it's nice to share. I love sci-fi and love Korean culture, but I've dated plenty of dudes that didn't like sci-fi, that didn't like Korean culture, that didn't like fantasy books, that didn't know what the hell Dune or Lord of the Rings was. Never seen. My ex had never seen a Star Wars movie. Still ain't never seen a Star Wars movie, and I'm heavily into that kind of stuff. I used to be heavily into video games. I've dated dudes who never into video games. So to me, interest, I've rarely dated too many dudes that were interested in the same things that I'm interested in, because again, that's not a high list on my priorities. So contra dating is nothing new. Contra dating is just a catchy phrase for you just dating somebody that, not your interest. I disagree with, the terms of soul connection, biology. Look, everybody has a type. Everybody has somebody that they're physically attracted to or what they're physically attracted to. And it's time we stop giving cutesy words for it, like biology or chemistry. A lot of times it's attraction. And I'm tired. I'm getting tired in 2024. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to end on this. I'm tired of 2024 that attraction gets thrown under the bus. That type gets thrown under the bus. That people are talking about interest and lifestyle and this, and that's all fine and dandy. But at the end of the damn day, I don't care what anybody says. We all have a little shallowness in us. We all have a type. We all have a type of person that we are attracted to, or we have several types. Some of us have like several, I have several types. But the idea that none of this gets put in these articles, because again, attraction has a lot to do with it. Attraction. It is hardwired in us as human beings to be attracted, that we like physical attractiveness. We like beautiful things. Now, beauty is subjective, yes, but we all like pretty flowers and pretty colors and pretty, we all visually are intrigued by things visually. So there, there's sight, there's smell, there's touch. We all have senses that go into dating as well. Our senses go into that. We all like, somebody smells, if they smell is off-putting, it's going to affect your brain and how you think about them. Every time you see this person, is some weird smell, or they stink, or their clothes smell like dog or something, and you find that off-putting. That's going to affect your brain and how you deal with them. That's off-putting. You may work with somebody that you're like, oh, that smell. Oh, what's this? Ugh. Oh, you're like, oh, that stink. Like you see that person, you're like, you have a visceral reaction. When you see somebody and you find them attractive and they cute and they may be even a little rude to you, but you kind of bypass it because you're like, girl, he sure is fine though, but he mean though, but he fine. But you become your the way you treat them softens a bit based on how attractive you think they are. And that's just natural. Like that's just natural for us to be attracted to certain things and certain types of people. And I get tired that dating apps and dating vlogs, that gets pushed aside, that people like certain types. It's nothing to do with biology, because you're attracted to what you're attracted to, and that's okay. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to be with somebody cute or as attractive as you are. There's nothing wrong with you wanting a man that knows how to dress, or a woman that knows how to take care of herself, or you wanting a woman that's really feminine, or you want a man that's really masculine, and you like a woman that gets her nails done and her hair did and wears makeup, and you like all of that. There's nothing wrong with that. The way these vlogs are written these days is that there's something wrong with you if you reject somebody, not solely based on looks, but looks has a part of it. So you have people out here dating people and trying to deal with people based on the fact that people are guilting and shaming them, saying, well, you know, you should go for the personality first, and it's about your personality. It's about how you act in your personality. Yeah, that's part. Yes, that's important to know. But then also attraction. You got women out here dating men that they are not attracted to, that they could barely even tolerate. Because as women in particular, we are told we got to give that guy a chance because he looks good on paper. He has a nice house, he has a nice car, he's a nice guy, he treats people good, and you're like, why don't I like this person? Sis, is because you're not attracted to him. And I'm sorry to tell you that. And Pete and your mama and your cousin, your aunt, uncle, and your dad will all like this person. And you will try to fit a square peg in a round hole. But at the end of the day, sis, he don't do it for you. Whether it be a physical, mental, sometimes it's his smell, it's his walk, it's his talk that you're annoyed by. Stop trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. I'm not saying you should not give people a chance, but at the end of the day, in my mind, in my opinion, it basically boils down to attraction a lot of times. And some people attraction is less important. Some people attraction is more important. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm tired of people attraction shaming people because you like what you like. I like what I like. I don't want nobody telling me that I need to give somebody a chance and they're not cute and I don't find them attractive. It's not gonna work. It's a no for me. It's a no for me. People can call me shallow. You can call me whatever, but it's a no for me. When I get dressed up and I put makeup on and I step out and I put my clothes on and I'm looking good, I want my man to for us to compliment each other. I don't want a man sitting around wearing Dockers and slacks and a collared shirt. That's not my type of man. I like a man who knows how to dress, who knows how to color coordinate, who knows how to put together, who's on trend, who wears trendy clothing, who wears clothing that I'll be like, oh, I don't have to dress him. I don't want to dress no man. I've been there. I've dated men that I've had to dress, that did not know how to dress, that did not keep their hair cut. I like a man. Grooming is very important for me. Very important for me. You don't have to wear designer clothes, brand labels, none of that. You just have to be able to be able to lead a house and put yourself together. Hair look nice, skin look nice. You brush your teeth, you wash your hair. Basic hygiene, basic grooming. There's a lot of men out there that don't know basic hygiene and basic grooming. I beat this into my son all the time. It's not what you look like in the face, it's how you carry yourself and what you do to improve what you look like. There are some men out there who are drop dead gorgeous, that are stunners, that have potential to be stunners, but the way they carry themselves and the way they dress is sloppy, their haircut is sloppy, they don't take a bath, their grooming is bad, their face is like covered in hair, covered in their beards all patchy, and they look like Scruffy McHomeless man. I don't want that. I want somebody that look in the mirror and be like, I have to keep myself kempt up. Like even if he go to the nail salon and get his nails clipped and his feet done, I don't want no rough ass hands and no rough ass feet. That's just my preference. I want a man that is able to take care of himself. Because to me, a person who cares about their appearance and their house, that's another thing. I like a clean house. Good God Almighty, I like a clean house. And I like a clean car because that's the standard I have for myself. I don't like clutter. I don't like dirt. I don't like mess. I don't like sloppy, messy people. Now, if you're going out somewhere, you're going to Walmart or whatever, you can do that. But there are people that no matter where you go, they always look sloppy. They don't care. They have no pride in their appearance. And I know we live in a generation where this is what's going on. And I just have to tell men everywhere, no matter how old you are, whether you're a teenager or whether you're 60 years old, having pride in what you look like and pride in your appearance will take you far in your career, will take you far in your education, will have people treating you and looking at you differently, will have people relating to you differently. People talk to me differently based on how I dress. If I'm dressed up and I got my makeup on, I'm looking good, then people smile, they will smile more at you. That's just human nature. You can't fight against human nature. People like pretty. People like pretty. And people like people who look well thought of and put together most of the time, especially a lot of women, and I just want people to keep that understanding in the back of their head that you don't have to be drop dead gorgeous or be a model. It's how you carry yourself as a person. It's how you hold your head up. It's how you dress. It's how you put yourself together. Get a nice pair of shoes that match that outfit. You don't have to spend, you can go on Temu. You ain't got to spend thousands of dollars to look nice. But looking nice goes a long way. In every genre of dress, I don't care if you're a Rastafarian with dreads in your hair. I don't care if you are preppy and you love to wear designer clothes. I don't care if you're wearing Walmart clothes or Amazon clothes. There is no excuse why anyone in this day and age should be looking sloppy and should be looking like they're homeless and should be because you will attract that type of person. I don't want to attract a sloppy type of person. My house ain't sloppy. My house is clean. I clean my house every day. So I like a man who's clean. You know what I'm saying? So that's a part of it. And to see people's profile pics with them looking sloppy, hair not cut, there's no reason why a man should be walking around here with their hair not cut. They beard all patchy. There's no reason why you should be on the internet talking about you looking for somebody, and then your profile pics, you look like you just rolled out of bed in all of them. I wouldn't dare get on the social media and take a picture of me looking like this, talking about yeah, I mean not social media, but I would on social media I would, but me on my profile looking like this. I don't do my profile pics look like my profile pic on here. I got makeup on, hair done, got the Brazilian wave in. Like I look how I would look if I'm going on a first date with somebody. I look how I would be with my man. You know what I'm saying? When I'm with my man, my ex, I don't look like this. When with my ex, I have makeup on all the time, all the time. Like he ain't never seen me this stripped down unless I was really, really sick or I had surgery. But other than that, like, I don't I strip down for myself and my kids. I always feel like my man wants a partner that reflects him. You know what I'm saying? Like my exes, the exes I've dated, for the most part, most of them have been well put together men. They know how to dress. They was pretty fly. And so no matter what race they are. And I've dated all races and they all been fly. They all know how to dress. I ask dudes, how do you dress? What I want to see what you looking like. You show up at the first date and you look sloppy and your clothes is wrinkled. I'm like, oh no, baby, I can't do that. Some women, y'all can do that. I can't. But I tell for men out there, a little bit goes a long way in dating. You don't have to have a perfect body or a perfect face. You don't have to be tall. You don't have to be overly, you don't have to be a supermodel. You just have to concentrate on going online and finding clothes and getting, if you need help, if there's women and friends in your life, find the best dressed one and be like, hey, I need help. And sometimes, but like I said, there's so much level of sloveness and sloppiness to these days that people are like, well, they should just like me for me and baby. I wish the world was like that, but it's not. Attraction goes a long way. Appearance goes a long way. I'm telling you, in your life, in your business, it goes a long way. In your career, it goes a long way. I wish I would have learned these lessons when I was younger, but you have a lot of defiantness in these young people who are like, I'm just going to do me and just look, and then they have to learn the hard way. And then they wonder why they don't get promotions. They don't wonder why they get passed over. And I'm like, well, how are you dressing? How are you looking at work? How are you carrying yourself? Do you come into work every day late? Do you come into work all wrinkled? I could go on and on about that with the young people today. It's lessons I should have learned when I was younger, but I didn't have anyone to tell me these things that I now understand now as almost 50 years old. Now I understand. I'm like, okay, I get it. So I just want to tell everybody out there, that's the end of my video. That's the new dating trend. Make sure you thumbs up. Make sure you like and thumbs up this video. If you are on dating apps and you're noticing certain things on trend, off trend, different terms, put it in the comment section. I might do a video about it. I will be back to do another dating video. I usually do one once every couple of days. Thanks to everybody who was here, Dustin, Tiffany, and other people who come in here and lurk and hear what I got to talk about. And the people from Reddit, like a lot of times I post my videos on Reddit and I get a lot of people coming here looking at my videos from Reddit. because I belong to dating communities and Reddit. So I get on the dating apps and dating app communities, Reddit, and look around and read. I'm always reading. I'm always lurking and reading because I'm trying to find ideas. Um, I'm reading people's stories about, horrible stories, good stories, funny stories on Reddit. Reddit is a gold mine of information. And so you guys have a good day. Well, when I post this video, it probably will be Saturday. So you guys have a great, great weekend. And until next time, folks, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, help the algorithm out. And I'm out of here. Peace. Peace, 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 and hair grease.